Imagine finding a tiny golden window. Looking through it, you see not today's world, but a world that existed 112 million years ago. This is not a fantasy. This is precisely what scientists have discovered in Ecuador. They have found a remarkable time capsule, one created by nature itself. This extraordinary find allows us to peek into a long-lost ecosystem, a world filled with strange insects and ancient plants. It is a world that vanished long before humans ever walked the earth. This discovery is like finding a photograph of a time no one has ever seen. It's a direct connection to our planet's deep and mysterious past. This remarkable time capsule is made of amber. Amber is fossilized tree resin. Millions of years ago, certain trees produced a sticky golden liquid called resin. This resin would ooze down the bark, a slow, thick river of sap. It acted like a natural trap. Any small creature or plant fragment that happened to be in its path could become stuck. The resin was incredibly sticky, making escape almost impossible for a tiny insect. Once trapped, the creature would be completely covered by more layers of flowing resin. This process perfectly preserved whatever was caught inside, protecting it from the ravages of time and decay. The discovery was made in a newly uncovered amber deposit in the Amazon rainforest of Ecuador. This find is incredibly special. Most of the world's amber comes from the northern hemisphere, from places like the Baltic region or Myanmar. Finding such ancient amber in South America is exceptionally rare. It gives us our very first clear look at the kinds of tiny creatures that lived in the tropical forests of this part of the world during the Cretaceous period. This was a time when dinosaurs still roamed the land, and South America was part of a giant supercontinent known as Gondwana. What makes this discovery so thrilling is the age and location. At 112 million years old, this amber dates back to a crucial time in Earth's history. Flowers were just beginning to evolve and diversify, changing the landscape forever. The insects found within this amber can tell us about this ancient environment. They can show us what the forest floor was like and what creatures buzzed through the air. Each tiny piece of amber is a miniature diorama, a frozen scene from a forgotten world. It provides clues that scientists could previously only guess at, offering solid evidence of life on this ancient southern landmass. So, what exactly is this magical substance, amber? It begins its life as simple tree resin. Think of it as the tree's defense mechanism. When a tree's bark is damaged, perhaps by a storm or a hungry animal, it releases this sticky resin to seal the wound. This protects the tree from diseases and insects that might try to invade. The resin is a complex chemical mixture, and for some specific types of ancient trees, this resin was unusually stable. It did not break down easily over time. Instead, it slowly hardened, beginning a journey of millions of years to become the beautiful gem-like substance we know as amber. The process of fossilization is a long and delicate one. After the resin traps an organism and hardens, it must be buried under layers of sediment, like sand or mud. This burial protects it from the elements, like wind and rain, which would otherwise erode it away. Over millions of years, the immense pressure from the layers above, combined with gentle heat from the earth, causes chemical changes in the resin. It polymerizes, meaning its molecules link together into long, strong chains. This slow natural process transforms the soft, sticky resin into hard, durable amber, preserving its precious contents in stunning detail. The reason amber is so important to scientists is the incredible level of preservation it offers. Other types of fossils, like bones or shells, only tell part of the story. They show us the hard parts of an animal. But amber can preserve the entire organism. Delicate structures like wings, antennae, and even the tiny hairs on an insect's leg are often saved in three-dimensional detailing. Sometimes, even the original color patterns are visible. This allows scientists to study ancient creatures as if they were just trapped yesterday, providing a level of information that is simply unmatched by any other form of fossil. This astonishing preservation gives us an unparalleled view into the past. We can see the exact shape and form of creatures that have been extinct for millions of years. Scientists can compare these ancient insects to their modern-day relatives to understand how they have evolved over time. The plants and pollen also trapped in the amber tell us about the ancient environment. They reveal what kind of forest it was, what the climate was like, and how different species interacted with one another. Each piece of amber is a complete miniature ecosystem frozen in time for us to study. The amber from Ecuador has revealed a treasure trove of ancient life. Researchers have carefully examined the tiny pieces, peering through microscopes to identify the inhabitants of this lost world. Inside, they have found a fascinating collection of arthropods, the group that includes insects and spiders. They have identified ancient species of wasps, ants, bark lice, and thrips. These are not the same insects we see today, but their distant ancestors. Seeing them preserved so perfectly helps us understand the early stages of evolution for these very successful groups of animals. Each one is a new species, previously unknown to science. Among the most exciting finds are some of the world's oldest known gall midges. These are tiny flies that have a special relationship with plants. They cause plants to form unusual growths called galls, which the midge larvae then use for food and shelter. The presence of these insects tells us that these complex interactions between insects and plants were already happening 112 million years ago. It shows that the forest was a dynamic place, full of intricate relationships, much like the rainforests of today. The amber also contained many different types of mites, tiny arachnids that would have crawled through the leaf litter on the forest floor. It was not just animals that were trapped. The amber also caught fragments of the ancient forest itself. Scientists have found pieces of plant matter, including the outer layer of plant cells. They have also discovered fern spores and the pollen from early flowering plants. This is incredibly significant. The Cretaceous period was when flowering plants, or angiosperms, began their dramatic rise to dominate the planet. The pollen in this amber provides direct evidence of the types of flowering plants that were growing in this specific part of the world at that time, helping us piece together the story of their global spread. All of these discoveries paint a vivid picture of what this ancient forest was like. It was a tropical world, warm and humid, much like the Amazon is today. But the plants and animals were different, a unique mix of ancient lineages. This was the supercontinent of Gondwana, a massive landmass that included modern-day South America, Africa, Australia, Antarctica, and India. The creatures found in this amber are Gondwanan natives. They tell us about the unique forms of life that evolved on this southern supercontinent, distinct from the life that was evolving in the northern hemisphere at the same time. This discovery in Ecuador is profoundly important for our understanding of Earth's history. For a long time, the fossil record of insects from the tropics has been very poor. The warm, wet conditions of rainforests cause organic matter to decay very quickly, so fossils rarely form. This has left a huge gap in our knowledge of how life evolved in these incredibly diverse regions. The Ecuadorian amber helps to fill that gap. It provides a rare and precious snapshot of life in a tropical Cretaceous forest, allowing us to see what was living there with our own eyes, rather than just guessing. By studying the insects and plants in the amber, scientists can reconstruct the ancient food web. They can see the tiny wasps that may have been parasites, the midges that fed on plants, and the spiders that may have hunted them all. This helps us understand not just what animals lived, but how they lived together in a complex ecosystem. It shows that the kinds of ecological relationships we see today are deeply rooted in the past. Understanding how these ancient ecosystems functioned can also help us understand how modern ecosystems might respond to changes in the climate as our planet continues to warm. Furthermore, this amber allows us to test ideas about continental drift. By comparing the creatures found in the Ecuadorian amber with fossils from other parts of the world, scientists can trace the connections between ancient land masses. If similar species are found in Africa and South America, for example, it provides strong evidence that these continents were once connected. This helps us map the breakup of Gondwana and understand how plants and animals were distributed across the globe as the continents drifted apart to their present-day positions. Each tiny insect becomes a clue in a giant geological puzzle. In conclusion, discoveries like this are why the search for amber is so exciting. It is more than just a beautiful stone. It is a direct link to the life of the past. It allows us to hold a piece of a 112-million-year-old world in our hands. It reveals the secrets of creatures that lived and died long before our time. In a forest we can now begin to imagine. From the delicate wings of a wasp to a single grain of ancient pollen, these golden time capsules provide invaluable knowledge, helping us write the incredible ongoing story of life on Earth. They remind us that our planet has a deep and wonderful history, with countless stories still waiting to be discovered.